What makes me think that one person can make a difference? It's the fact that I see relationships being the primary center point in everybody's life. Well, I met Kyle on Facebook when I was 16, and we had enough mutual friends that it wasn't weird for me to send him a message, though he did almost delete it, so maybe it was weird. And we just never stopped talking after that. So Max, our son, was born to us, and once Max was about a year old, I had talked to Kyle about fostering. We figured if we had time and love that it would work out and it would be smooth, and it wasn't smooth, and it hasn't been smooth any of the times we've fostered. And most of the foster parents I know, they don't have a village around them. So I spent a few months like, how do I make this work? How do I automate this? And then I went back to my core and I was like, we don't automate it. We do it relationally. We do it with friendship. We do it with neighbors, because people know how to support each other. They just have to be connected. I knew that there were a few foster moms, like here in Colorado Springs, that had 5 or 6 or 7 kids, and I knew I had a friend who would be willing to make them dinner. So I just started like that. I just started saying, I put together a little training. It was just in a Word document at that point. And then we had 5 matches, and then we had 10 matches. And then once one of my friends applied, we realized she was 3 doors down from the family that she was matched with. And so that is like, okay, this is silly. Like, there's people who really desperately need help. There's people who would love to help them, who have a few extra hours a week. They might literally live on the same block.
We want to be the matchmaker between somebody who wants to help a family and a family who wants support. That's it. If your neighbor, you're delivering a meal once a month to your family, start there. You might want to do 100 other things. That's great. We love more support, but we want you to start there, and we want you to commit to starting there, because we don't want you to burn out, and we don't want the family to be stranded.
What really felt gratifying and felt like, okay, this is working, was when I would check in like 6 months later, and they would still be talking to each other, and they would still be they would have upped their commitment. We kept saying to each other, like, I didn't know it could be this good. So it was an amazing couple of months.
Tragic news out of Kenya, Africa, with a Colorado Springs connection.
Kyle, 40, and wife Hope began fighting for the Safe Families Bill 2 years ago to give parents in crisis with nowhere to turn a place to temporarily put their kids. Last month, he died in a helicopter crash, and she was left to press on alone, 3 months pregnant with a 5-year-old son and 2 foster kids.
It's just that it's like the one thing that can't happen. Not having someone live in this world anymore, there's days where it feels like it has ruined everything, but the days that I can see the light are the days that the work of love and the showing up every day of love, which is what we have in our marriage, what made it shine, and what I think gave me the energy to create this organization and this program, hasn't gone away. That's the fierceness that every child who's been abused, or every family who's been struggling through poverty or injustice needs, that kind of fierce love. And I think that they absolutely, by nature of being human, deserve and have access to that kind of fierce love.
Me and her sister Grace, we both kind of stepped in to help in a very small capacity at that time, and kind of like help try to like extract this like brilliant program and idea from her head. About after a year, my role and capacity and really increased, and we had kind of started creating or building on this program that she had already created.
When you're running your own nonprofit, you're working on a lot of other stuff like administration. That's where I think Tennyson has come in to be able to give us that ability to amplify our ability to serve more families.
Tennyson focuses on working with kids who have experienced trauma and working with them while they're still in their homes with their caregivers.
As I started talking with the team at Tennyson about merging in and making Foster Together, Now Families Together, part of their program offering to families, I realized that we could offer something so much more well-rounded by offering the therapeutic element alongside the neighbors.
It's a model that can be used in a much more widespread way with social service agencies who are providing support services to families. And so I think that there's great potential for this to spread.
My husband is Dan, and we have 2 biological kids, one boy who's 9 and a daughter who's 8, and we're currently caring for 2 little boys in foster care who are 4 and 3 years old. As a foster parent, you're just constantly being pulled in all these different directions, and Families Together is set up in a way where they're saying, we don't want anything from you, we want to give to you. And to me, that's really life-giving. It lifts my spirit, and it's encouraging.
People do care, and people do have a lot of love and support to give, and sometimes they just don't know where to give it. And that's one of the things that I'm most proud about with Families Together.
I think everybody who has grief and trauma needs to know that it is small steps and it is small decisions, and you get to look back, and the treat is you get to look back and say, wow, we have 200 matches now. But the daily reality is kind of a grind. It's not heroic. Like it's just what we should be doing because we were loved well, so we need to give love back.
Mm-hmm.